You can just turn off your video for a sec. So,
Hello.
hi guys.
Welcome, welcome.
We're just going to give
Hello,
it a
everyone.
few minutes for people to join.
Is the chat enabled? There, Wendy.
Um,
There's two of me because I have my phone. So it's so it'll be rapid, so I don't have to struggle.
I'll just have a look at the chat. Why is the chat? The questions and answers is enabled, but I can. Don't know why. Let me see. Okay. You think that should be enabled? Elsa has her hand raised. Can you get in on the, oh, here we go. Okay, the chat is working, so, okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello.
Hi. So I'm going to do a quick introduction for anyone who's joining us that doesn't know who Beauty Buddy is, first of all. I'm Wendy, and I'm one of the co-founders of Beauty Buddy, and this is Kira. She is one of the brand managers, and we are basically a review platform for you to learn more about products, to search, to see the ingredients, the directions of use, to help you pick the right products for yourselves. And we are joined today by Kyle, who is the president of Delavie Did I say it right?
Yeah,
Delavie Sciences.
Yeah.
And they were part of a campaign we did with their serum, and he is kindly joining us today to talk a little bit more about the science behind the serum and to show us behind the scenes. And if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A if you want to ask anyone specifically, or you can go into the chat and Sinead will keep us on track with those questions and answers. So over to you, Kyle. So let's start. And we just basically, I would love to know, as a brand, what is your mission in the skincare industry?
Yeah, so hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, my time. It's 8 a.m. here in the United States, and I know it's lunchtime where you are, so good afternoon. So Delavie Sciences is, we're focused on disrupting the industry by creating and developing novel, patented, proprietary, and most importantly, efficacious ingredients. We are science forward. We are all scientists. For example, I'm a food scientist by training, bachelor's, master's, PhD. Then I went over and did my postdoc at Harvard Medical School in Department of Genetics, specifically focusing on longevity with Dr. David Sinclair. And then from there, I kind of walked through the biodefense industry, which is how NASA, we got involved with NASA and our connection with NASA, went into pharmaceuticals, and now here I am in the consumer care space. And we've basically taken those principles and the thought processes needed to develop efficacious compounds and ported it over to an industry that needs innovation and needs efficacious compounds, and more importantly, new ones.
Can you explain what efficacious compounds means?
Yeah, so basically something that does something, right? So there's a lot of things out there that people use in products that are very general. We're designing compounds that target certain pathways. So for example, our space certified ingredient, bacillus lysate, which I'll get to later on, actually targets very specific functions in the skin. For example, sirtuins, which are DNA repair enzymes, that if you're ever looking in longevity space and you search sirtuins, you'll realize those are the main things that help protect us during times of adversity, whether it's starving or temperature changes. So bacillus lysate activates these enzymes in our skin and actually helps repair the DNA. We also are able to show that the bacillus lysate quenches radicals formed from sun exposure. So this is interesting because a lot of compounds say they're antioxidants, but the antioxidant capability for your skin, depends on application. And it is well known that sun exposure, both UVA and UVB, which lead to dark spots and wrinkles, accelerates aging, but we're actually able to develop ingredients that stop that from happening. So these are the types of things we're looking at. And in the end, it leads to less wrinkles, softer skin, and so on, which everyone wants.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely, but it's definitely I've been using the product, as I was saying to you, it's like even the measurement of it is just so specific, and we were just talking about that earlier because you're scientists, that but it really makes it so much easier for the consumer to know the exact amount to use, and it's super spreadable. Like it's like so good. But I'm actually 70.
I'm actually 85.
So yeah, no, absolutely. So apart from, obviously not apart from, so explain the science, the NASA, the space technology, because as I said, a lot of people thought it was in the bottle because the bottle is super cool how it measures it out perfectly, but actually it's in the ingredients. So explain the space technology to us.
Our connection with NASA actually started out, and I'll switch over really quickly because I want to show people something. So I have my phone ready because ultimately I want to give people a little tour of our science facility to show that we actually are researchers, but I want to show you something that's a little different. So excuse me as I struggle here with the phone. But we actually started out with NASA, and here's a publication that came out, Shielding the Human Genome. And that's me right there. Not that that matters. So that article I just showed you really quickly. That's how we started with NASA. The whole premise was, how can we protect astronauts on the way to Mars during long duration space travel? And we were developing cool compounds to do this. And during this time, the NASA scientists were like, hey, we have this really cool organism that went outside of the International Space Station and survived for 18 months and was researched by the astronauts on the International Space Station and brought back down to Earth. And it has some really cool properties. Do you want to look at it for longevity and healthcare? And I was like, of course, why not? So we brought it back into our lab. And, my background in longevity and genetics, I started looking at very key indicators. And some of them I already mentioned, sirtuins is one. Being able to turn on those enzymes to repair DNA damage is crucial. The second one, which is actually more surprising, was that the bacillus lysate, the space certified technology, actually increases your internal hyaluronic acid. It actually makes your cells more efficient at creating your own hyaluronic acid, which what's better than your own hyaluronic acid? Nothing. And, most products have it in there, but does it penetrate? Does it stay for a long period of time? It depends. But because our ingredients help your cells be more efficient to create hyaluronic acid, you have the benefits right away. So because the organism was researched by astronauts, it was out on the space station, and we found these really cool properties to bring to skincare. This organization called the Space Foundation, which is the forward-facing nonprofit arm of the space industry, actually certified it space technology, meaning that it was researched by astronauts, used, in government research, and it's legitimate. And just to put it out there, some things you may know, but that are space technology, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, for example. That mattress was actually the cushion used on the seats in the rockets that the astronauts sat on.
Wow.
So that is certified space technology, just to put it out there. So these things do exist, but most people don't realize it. So that's the space technology. A lot of people think that it's a marketing play. Honestly, it's not. It's was real government funded research on the space station that happens to benefit our skin.
And what is what's the effect that people will see from using the product? How long would it take to even see any sort of effect? But what's the change that people can expect?
Yeah, so we've done extensive clinical trials on the final products and also a lot of efficacy testing on the ingredient. And one thing that blew my mind when I saw the data was that after 30 minutes of application, skin moisture was increased by 39% and stayed that way. And the skin stayed even moisturized after 24 hours, significantly moisturized compared to non-treatment, for 24 hours. And this, plays directly into your body's ability to create its own moisture and lock it in instead of helping or hoping something else does it. Another thing, we found that, within 7 days, people started noticing reductions of wrinkles, increasing of moisture, evening of tone. And the biggest surprise out of all of it, at the end of the study, we did all skin types, all skin tones. We had, we did 2 clinical trials, one in New York, one in LA. And in both sites, all the subjects with darker skin tones came to us after and said, hey, can I talk to you about something? And we're like, sure, So with the clinical trial, just a little inside information, the subjects get to see the ingredients and you give them like a few bullet points about what you think the product will do, right? They need to know what's on their face. They want to make sure it's not anything crazy. But all of the dark skin tone subjects said, we noticed a reduction in hyperpigmentation and evening of our skin tone, and that wasn't on your sheet. Can we talk about that? And I was like, sure, go ahead. So as we started diving more into the data from our clinical trials, we noticed this trend. And being scientists, I was like, okay, we know it does something, but how does it do it? So we actually went back into the lab and we did tissue culture studies, we did simulated skin, we did enzyme assays, and we realized that our product and ingredients actually stops or minimizes the enzymes that lead to hyperpigmentation. And it actually evens out the skin tone after. So that's something we weren't even planning.
Yeah, so you didn't even know that was going to happen.
We didn't even know, but that's a lot of people are talking about that now on social media. And they email us and we're like, wow, another accidental finding, I guess.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Fantastic. And what's the like next product out of this the NASA?
Yeah, so the serum is our hero product, and that
Yes.
launched. And we launched an eye cream in April and it sold out in 3 hours. So it actually just came back on the market beginning of May. And that eye cream is a morning eye cream. It's more of just to cover it for the day to really help. But we are launching an overnight heavy moisturizing eye cream that has more actives, more concentrated actives that will help overnight restore and repair the eye. And then finally, a general face lotion that's a face moisturizer that will basically seal the deal. So the Aonia line, because it's age-defying focus for the skin, we want to make sure we cover all the major parts. So, you have the serum, you have the eye treatments morning and night, then you also have the general face lotion. But that is just for Aonia.
Okay.
We have
Yeah.
a whole pipeline of innovative ingredients, all patented, all proprietary. You can't get them anywhere else. And that's the special sauce here is Bacillus lysate. We own, we manufacture it in France, and then it comes here to the United States, and then we manufacture our products in the United States.
Wow.
You can't get it anywhere else. But we have 2 other ingredients. One is my patent from Harvard Medical School, which is a bunch of enzymes that will help unplug your pores, break down oily skin, and basically help exfoliate. So that we're developing now. It's being manufactured in France as well. And hopefully those products will be on the market sometime next year.
Wow.
And then
That's
the third
super
ingredient.
exciting. Sorry,
And then
go on.
one more ingredient, no problem. One more ingredient we have, which is really cool, is it actually enhances your skin's viability and protects it from environmental stressors like urban pollution, urban dust, salt, anything else that you can get exposed to. Again, patented, proprietary technology.
Any pipeline of body cream. I feel like I need to get into a bath.
Yeah. So, I was on, if anyone here listens to the podcast, the Blonde Files, I was on there and the host basically said, I want to bathe in this. And she was using it sometime. She said, does it come in bigger bottles? Because I've been putting it on my elbows, I've been putting it on my legs, I've been putting it all over the place, and I just need more. So we are thinking about creating a general lotion here for your whole body.
Yes. Brilliant. And just on the using the serum, so I'm actually going to see if I can do this poll. I'm just going to see if everybody can just answer yes or no very quickly if you use a serum in your routine, and then Kyle is going to explain to us how best to actually use the serum as part of your routine, so we get the best effect. So obviously serums are definitely something that everybody is using. So Kyle, how should we use the serum? I know, just like as part of the routine, so it's it's used at the right stage?
Yeah, so normally you go from light to heavy, right? When you apply products. So just wash your face with a not moisturizer, geez, a cleanser or something that exfoliates skin, pat it dry, and then go right to the serum. And some
Okay.
people have actually cut out everything else after that. A lot of people use vitamin C, they use retinol, they use all these other things. But I will tell you, sometimes less is more. And
Yeah.
people have actually responded, and their comment is, I was skeptical at first, but now I don't need a general moisturizer as much, or I don't need these two other products that I was using. And
Yeah.
I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, I just wash my face and I put this on and then put on sunscreen, before you
Yeah.
go outside. And it's actually helped simplify a lot of people's routines. But I would do that before.
Okay. Yeah.
Just wash and then apply the serum and then go from there.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that as well, Kyle, that people do want to simplify their routine and they do want to have what they need in one bottle. So that's really cool. Yeah, it's really good.
Kira, you have a product there in your hand there, or
Yes.
does Kyle have?
Gee,
You have
yeah.
a bottle?
I have a bottle over here.
Just somebody's asking. Yeah, can they
Oh,
see?
yeah.
They just
Show
want
us.
to see what it looks like.
So here's the bottle. I think I
Yeah.
have a third one over here. Let me see. Okay, so, whoop, almost dropped it. So here's the product, and here's the bottle that we were talking about earlier, that pre-doses. So you just twist it. And when you pull it out, it gives you the perfect amount in the product. So you don't have to guess or worry how much to use if you're using too little or too much. And being scientists, we hate waste. And whenever you look at cosmetic products, they're usually just general droppers, and it's up to the consumer discretion to basically figure out how much they want. And they usually use too much, or they use too little because they want to save the product. And then they're like, I don't see any, results. I don't know what's going on. So we were very, when we
I think
designed.
there's a lot of that at the minute is the overwhelming piece about, as you said, retinol, niacin, like what to use, and then if you use so many of them, you don't actually know which is working or what's working or not working. So if it doesn't work with all of these things, then what do you take out? Like, so the fact that you can, and I have to say I'm using the serum at the minute, and like that little tiny piece, like I'm able to do like my neck as well, if you know what I mean. It's like spreads so easily, like, so which was surprising for me because it was so small. I was like, I'm probably going, the women are a bit like, oh, might need two of them, but actually you don't.
You don't, yeah.
So you definitely, the scientist was definitely correct in that space. So, and the eye serum is actually launched. Do you want to bring us and show us the behind the scenes?
Yeah, I can bring you behind the scene really quick. And I'll just say one thing, the eye product is that we actually designed it as well. So you'll be surprised that if you use it, you don't need more than a pencil tip per eye. It was very intentional when we formulated the product. We wanted to make sure that it went a long way. We didn't want to. So I can show everyone behind the scenes. So let me just swap over.
And is it just ordered directly from our website, or is there?
Yeah, so it is right now. We're just available direct to consumer. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so let me make sure. Yeah, it's just available on our website, direct to consumer. So I'll just show you some. So it's really early here. No one's here, but I want to show you a headline that's my favorite. Extraterrestrial Bacillus lysate lands in Aonia skincare line. That's my favorite.
Oh, brilliant.
But
now somebody has just put up, sorry, their skin is really sensitive. Does it work? Is it a specific skin type or?
Yeah, so when we did this testing, we made sure we tested on all skin types, oily, dry, and sensitive. And the product is hypoallergenic. It does contain geranium though, and that's one thing some people may be sensitive to. So we're actually coming out with a sensitive skin line this year that has that removed. So it's the exact same formulation
Just
minus,
without the geranium.
yeah, without one or two ingredients that some people may be sensitive to. But so far, we haven't had any, significant complaints or returns based on that, because it is a very gentle formula. But I do want to show people that we are an actual lab. So I'll show you some. There's no one here though, because it is so early. But here's some of the labs that we have here. And this is where we research and develop a lot of our, if not a lot, all of our patented proprietary ingredients. So we do a whole host of things here. We have some really cool techniques. I'll show you a room next door. So this right here houses all of our novel biology. We have over 1,000 organisms. Some come from space. Some come from 1,500 meters below the surface of the earth.
Wow.
In the gold mine. So I know we have limited time, but here's just a picture of Perseverance, which is the Mars rover being assembled. I took this picture at NASA Jet Propulsion Labs, and this is, where everything came from. Here's another example. I was down, like I said, 1,500 meters below the surface of the earth in an abandoned gold mine. This is the miner driving a train down the tunnel.
And what are you looking for down there, Kyle? Is it different like ingredients? Is it different like particles? Is it's
So we're finding, so the way we work here is we try to find and create ingredients from biology. Nature is the genius, right? If organisms can survive in hostile environments, whether it's high temperatures, low temperatures, underground, in space, right? Then they know how to survive and protect themselves. So at Delavie, we leverage that. We figure out how these organisms do it, and then we make ingredients so we can have that same beneficial protection. Here's just compost heaps, and then here I was on an oil rig. So I took this picture in an oil rig where we got a bunch of samples as well to create ingredients. So in here, you can see some scientists are getting ready to produce a lot of compounds for the organisms. And here is where we do a lot of purification. So we isolate a lot of our compounds in here. We get it going, and it's real. It's a real lab, a real facility, and we make sure that all of our ingredients go through all the rigorous safety testing, all the efficacy testing, all the registrations needed. And then we do the same with our final products.
It's a fantastic, it's like super interesting. Like you've no idea. Because as we were saying earlier with this NASA space technology, when we saw it the first time, it was like, is it the bottle that had the technology? But it's actually the ingredients, which is amazing.
Okay.
So actually someone just wants to know if you have any kind of tips for sensitive skin, or why or what is it that's causing, like, and what they can like use more so that's better for sensitive skin. Obviously your serum, somebody's just said there that they have really sensitive skin and they were nervous trying the product, but it didn't cause any irritation to their skin. So I suppose just if from a scientific point of view why some skins are just completely erratic, that would maybe help people understand
Yeah,
it.
so everyone's skin is different. And everyone's skin reacts to environments differently. And this could be genetic, it could be predisposed, it could be environmental conditioning, sensitization. So when we formulated the serum, we wanted to make it as gentle as possible while also being as effective as possible. But what I would say, if you have sensitive skin, I would say stop everything, because what happens is as you keep layering or applying products, you are increasing your skin's sensitive nature, right? As you have more and more compound your skin's trying to react to. So you need like a cool down period. And this would be maybe a week of two where you don't really use anything. You kind of let your skin reset and go back to its normal state. And then you would just test product by product. And you may find that one out of the 4 or 5 you're using is what's causing the problem. And you just need to identify that. It kind of goes back to, like I said, people trying to product their way out of skin problems. When normally your skin just needs maybe 1 or 2 things it's missing to be as effective as possible or efficient as possible. And instead we just try to layer a bunch of products. And I'm in the mindset, you know, I don't know if I'm the majority here, probably the minority, but, you know, pro-aging or, you know, realizing we're going to age, but that doesn't mean we can't make our skin as effective and efficient and as healthy as possible at that time.
Yes, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling a lot of people try to force their skin to be something it physically cannot be. And that leads to these problems where if you kind of try one product at a time and give your skin actually what it needs at that time, you'll have the best, you know, outcome.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's just been so amazing, but we're actually going to open it up and see if anyone has any questions for Kyle.
Anna says that exactly, aging isn't the enemy. And I love that. And I think I've definitely seen that as well. Just people wanting that. They don't want to see anti-aging or, you know, it's like pro-aging is, yeah, I like that.
That's why we're age defying, right? We're not stopping aging, but we're giving your skin compounds that will make it more efficient. So it will defy, you know, what you think aging is.
Yeah, and people are saying it all makes so much sense. They needed this so much to hear about it. So like, you're definitely answering some of the questions, and I think that's a big thing on the education piece. You know, and the more educated we are as consumers on what we're actually putting on our skin, going into our skin. There's a question from Anna there. She wants to know, is it necessary to seal in the serum with a moisturizer on top, or no?
It all depends, you know, it's what you want. If you want that extra amount of moisturizing factor, you can. I do not use, so I just use the serum, right? You can't really see my face because of this glare. But I don't use any, I just use the serum. And for me, it's fine, but I don't have, you know, particularly dry skin, right? But if you're someone who has a lot of dry skin, or you're in an environment with low humidity, so it's very dry out, like in the winter time, right? You always have to put moisturizer on, you know, do that, but you don't necessarily need it. Some people do it because they don't want to get rid of their face moisturizer. But some people don't.
Thank you for that. And then Tracy is asking, does the serum leave your skin more sensitive to sun, and should you use it SPF over it?
So it doesn't make, you know, you should always use a sunscreen. So the serum does not block, you know, UV rays, right? It's not a sunscreen, it's not a SPF. What it does is it helps mitigate some of the negative attributes that happen from sun exposure. So if any UVA or UVB penetrates through sunscreen, which it does over time as it wears off, you know, this will help stop the free radicals, the elastin breakdown, the collagen breakdown that occurs over time, which leads to fine lines and wrinkles. And because of the way it helps with hyperpigmentation, you know, UVB is what leads to that. It leads to melanin production, it leads to age spots, dark spots. This will also help those attributes as well. But you should always use sunscreen, because sunscreen is the main driver of skin aging, right? We get bombarded by those rays all the time, UVA, UVB, all the way through visible spectrum. And that's what's detrimental. Okay.
Wow. I'm like, wow, it's really great. We have another question there from Elsa. She wants to know, is there a product coming for mixed or oily skin? I know you said sensitive skin, but I think the the product works, you were saying, for mixed or oily skin, it's not going to be, it doesn't need to be a separate product.
No, it doesn't have to be a separate product. When we actually did the testing, we made sure we had a mixed population of oily, the combination skin, dry skin. We did that intentionally because you'll see a lot of products. Well, even if you see the clinical trial data. So one thing I'll say is you can go to our website and you can see all of our clinical trial results. We post them. It's transparent.
Yeah.
You'll see moisture. You'll see fine line wrinkle reduction. You'll see increase in radiance. You'll see all of those things, and we're constantly updating. So we'll be putting more clinical trial data for both the serum and the eye cream up as we keep going. But we did that on purpose because we wanted to make an all skin type product. And I'm going to be honest, it's very hard to make something that works with everyone.
Yeah.
But if you can work with the majority, I think you hit a home run.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think that piece on transparency as well is so important. And I think, like, from the feedback we're seeing here in the chat, everybody loves seeing that it is science-led, that it's not just all the marketing and the fluff that you can see. It is science-led, and you know what you're talking about. Anna has a question here saying, should a serum be used both in the AM and PM? She only uses it at nighttime at the moment.
Yeah, so we recommend using it morning and night. The reason why morning is because it adds that moisture factor. So if you want to use that instead of a moisturizer, you could do morning and night, or you can just do it at night. We put it on the bottle because we expect, or we would like people just to use this product as without any other products to see how it works. So morning and night would be best. But if you're comfortable with it working just at night or just in morning, it's up to you. It's your skin. I don't know how your skin is behaving. So do whatever you feel is best. Yeah.
Okay, we just take another one or two questions. Questions are flying in at you there. So what would be the difference between a serum and a moisturizer?
So the moisturizers their main job is to, it's going to sound obvious, but to add moisture and to seal it in and to lock it in and keep moisture from leaving the skin. The serum's job is to penetrate and have the actives go into the skin to actually help mitigate those problems of fine lines, wrinkles, age spots, help with glossiness, help with moisture. So in theory, you would add a serum that would go into the matrix of the skin and plump it up from inside, and then the moisturizer would go on top and seal it in. But because our serum in the Bacillus lysate, is shown to increase your own natural hyaluronic acid, really using a moisturizer to seal it in isn't, it depends on your skin, right? Because if you're making your own hyaluronic acid, that's not going to evaporate. And the hyaluronic acid will bind the water better than the small hyaluronic acids that people put in products now, hoping that it penetrates.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm just wondering, do you have any plans to go into like hair care? Because I feel I would love a moisturizer or a serum like that for my hair. Are there any plans?
So I will tell you, we are looking at scalp treatments.
Okay.
One thing we're also looking at, because of the UV absorption properties of the Bacillus lysate and its protection from free radicals from the sun, we're also looking to see if it helps prevent color fade in treated hair. And this is, again, something that we didn't think about. We didn't go into this like this. We said, okay, this does this, let's go to longevity. But as we keep working in the lab and we discover new properties, we're finding new uses for the product.
Love it.
That
really
could be game changing for other things.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Keep us up to date on that.
Menor saying, wow, I am so satisfied with the answers. The best webinar I have attended till date.
Thanks so much.
That's what you get when you talk to a scientist about skincare. Yeah. Well, listen, this is recorded, so we are going to share it with the rest of the app users, Beauty Buddy community, and on our social and newsletter, so people can rewatch it and save any information. People are just saying thank you. You've been thanked a lot there, Kyle.
And don't forget,
Oh,
we have a competition.
yeah, so we have a competition. So what we'll do is anybody that joined the webinar, but also it's live on Facebook as well. So we have to see who joined on Facebook. We'll put you into a draw and we will announce it in our newsletter. So the winner
to win one of the serums.
I know, Ciara, you can't win.
I know. I'm like, oh.
Yes. Kyle, it was an absolute pleasure. Learned so much and really interesting. Maybe we can do it again when the eye serum is, you know, in the UK, and we can have a look at that one. But brilliant. Thank you for your time.
Thanks
and
so much,
we'll
Kyle.
share the edited version with you.
Yeah. Amazing.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much, Kyle.
Thanks,
and there's loads
guys,
of
for
thank yous
joining.
coming in. Yeah.
Okay. Bye now.